See, now this is the reason why I'm never going to go camping. Because you never know when a mutated, murderous deer is just going to come charging at you out of the woods and just kill you with its antlers. You never know when that is going to happen. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and I bring you my review of the latest movie in the TCU, which is the Twisted Childhood Universe, Bambi: The Reckoning. This one is not directed by the guys that did Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and I believe the same director that did both those films also did Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But it is a completely new director. Dan Allen is the one that directed this. Reese Warrington wrote the script, obviously based off of not only the book Bambi, but also kind of in a similar fashion to the other ones, Winnie the Pooh and Peter Pan. You could also say they kind of pulled from the classic Disney movie. Um, this one stars Roxanne McKee, Tom Mullerin, Samira Mighty, Alex Cook, Big Tobes. I love that. Love that guy's name. When I saw that in the credits, I'm like, that's pretty good. And of course, it follows the same story as Bambi. You know, Bambi sees his mom get killed, but thanks to some toxic chemicals in the river, he mutates into a vengeful, murderous, and very strong deer. And now he is just out for blood against any and all humans. And there's also a group of hunters after him to basically try and quell this problem before it gets way too out of hand. So, will they be able to do it in time? We'll find out. So, I've actually kind of witnessed all of the TCU kind of unfold. I remember when the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was coming out, and I thought that is such an awesome idea and a silly idea at the exact same time. Like taking like this classic character that we all know and love, Winnie the Pooh, and just putting a horror twist onto it. I was like, all right, I'll bite. I'll see what happens. And I remember I took my roommate to go see that movie, and he didn't have fun, but I did. I enjoyed the camp of it. Could you class that first movie as being good? No, I don't think you could, but I had fun watching it. It was good slop for me. But they made enough money off that first one that they made a second one. And I will say that second one is a huge step up from the first one. Not only in their makeup, but also in the practical effects as well as in the acting. Scott Chambers took over the role of not Peter. Uh, no, is it? Oh God, it's not Peter Parker because that's Spider-Man. Oh my God, why am I blanking? I can't remember. Why am I blanking? And yes, I'm going to leave this in just to show you that I'm blanking so hard. Oh God. Peter Robin. There we go. Jesus. Took me so long to come up with that name. Anyway, Scott Chambers took over the role of Peter Robin, and I thought he did a really good job in that second movie. And then, of course, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which I already have a review up on the channel, so if you want to go check that out, go check that out. And I think that one is the best one out of the bunch because it's genuinely creepy. It is really believable. And I think it's a really good spin off of like the Peter Pan character, like taking people to Neverland. But in the case of that movie, it's basically, you know, taking them and, giving them all sorts of drugs and stuff. So, fun happiness for everyone. And then we have this one. Um, I remember seeing a couple of trailers like here and there for it, and I'm like, this looks really interesting, and I like the idea of it. But in some of the shots of the in the trailer, it looked just like a little too CG to me. But when I actually watched the movie, it actually wasn't half bad. The CG on Bambi was, again, not that terrible. Like some of the car chases that happen in the movie, you can definitely see that it is CG, but props to like um, Stephanie and Ryan. I forget their last name, but I do know that they're first Stephanie and Ryan. They did an amazing job on the VFX, especially with the still shots of like just Bambi like looking at people or like he's moving his hooves. Like those look really good. And when he has his like snout protruding towards one of our characters, that actually looks practical. And I would guarantee you that they probably did it practically as well. Um, the performances out of our cast, I thought was pretty solid, especially Tom Mullerin. I thought he did a pretty good job. Roxanne McKee, I thought she did pretty good. The lady that played the grandmother, Mary, I thought she did a really good job of kind of being the kooky, insane character that we always see in a horror movie, but that person always turns out to be right. I thought she did a really good job at playing that part. Yeah, just solid performances up and down in the cast. Um, Going away from the digital effects, the practical effects in this were also pretty good as well. A lot of really good dead corpses, but also a lot of good practical makeup. I think like in the first, I would say maybe 10 to 15 minutes, like the cab where our two mains are gets flipped, and you see the cab driver like it starts to get smushed, and then his arm breaks. Really good arm break prosthetics, and then of course his neck gets snapped. That looked really good. At one point, there are a whole lot of rabbits, and they start like eating people's flesh. That also looked really good as well. Um, there's one point where a dude is dragged by a van for like a really long stretch, and the mom flips the dude over, and his like face is like pretty much gone, and the effects on that look really, really good. So like both digital and practical effects look really, really good in this, and I would assume that's like probably where most of the budget probably went to in this movie, was to make the effects look as good as possible. But yeah, I would say this is pretty solid. Like it's not my favorite out of the bunch. I would probably still say Peter Pan is probably still my favorite, but this is still a pretty solid entry into this franchise that, my assumption is probably didn't start out, to be a franchise, but has turned into a franchise. But yeah, I would solid entry all around. Solid performances from the cast. Surprisingly good digital and practical effects in this movie. But yeah, that's overall pretty solid. So I know that they confirmed two Winnie the Pooh movies, Peter Pan, Bambi. Um, did they confirm Pinocchio? And then, of course, the last one being like the big crossover film to kind of put, the rubber seal on it and, call her a day. I don't know when that Pinocchio film will be coming out. Neither do I know when that big crossover film, how that is gonna work together. But I'm still very interested to see, how all this shakes out in the end. Um, and I've had a good time watching all four of these. Might as well continue on with the journey. So there you go. That's going to be it for my review of Bambi: The Reckoning. Like I said, had a fun time watching it. Solid little horror movie. If you guys have it playing somewhere near you, I would definitely check it out and have a fun time watching it. But that is going to be it for me, guys. Be safe out there, and remember, always, always watch your back when you're out in the woods using the restroom, because you never know when, an animal or, like I said in my intro, a mutated deer is just going to come up and just knock you down, straight down. Just saying. I will see you guys next time.